Everyone, welcome to the Talk Lab podcast. I hope that everyone's doing well. Everyone's staying safe during these times. Oh my God, it feels like hundreds of years. Like it's not like 2 weeks. It like feels like I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years, 5.
Yeah,
since we recorded the past episode. Yeah,
midterms.
Yeah, midterms.
After.
It feels like a long time. Oh my! So I hope that everyone has been doing well, especially on their midterms. Everyone is on the same page, hopefully. I just wanna before we start the podcast, I just wanna say happy birthday, Mo. It was your
happy
birthday,
Mo. Thank you.
It was your birthday yesterday.
Yes, thanks.
We couldn't do much. It was midterms, but yeah,
It's COVID. It's everything.
I need some kind of party, huh? Like any sort of something.
Let's do it here, huh?
Yeah, after the episode.
Okay, definitely. All right, let's get in the episode. So today we have a great person, an important person from Algonquin College and Carleton University. He has kind of a linked program between Algonquin and Carleton University. Was being involved in clubs in both schools. We have Harman today. How you doing, Harman?
I'm good, sir. How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for coming here.
You. No, of course. Thank you for having me, to be honest.
Probably it was a long way.
No, not actually. Like, takes me 15 minutes. If not traffic, other way 18, 20 minutes. That's a lie?
That's still a lot.
Well, someone here comes from Barhaven.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's the same. It's 20 minutes. But, like, I mean, according to Ottawa, like, 30 minutes is very long. You know, a 30-minute trip is very long because you can go from the south to the north
in 30 minutes.
Definitely.
You can go from east to west, I'm pretty sure, 35 maybe.
Yeah, so that's basically Ottawa.
That's 35. Ottawa. That's the Kuwait city here.
Yeah. No, I used to work in Orleans sometimes, like get shifts in Orleans, and then it takes me normally 40 minutes with the traffic.
Yeah, because you're in the extreme west and Orleans is in the extreme east.
I know, but it should take you normally, like on average, it should take you 37 minutes exactly.
Mm-hmm. It was because of traffic.
Traffic makes it 45 minutes. Kind of sucks.
Plus, you go at the business morning times, right?
That's morning time. Yeah, it's
a hassle, bro. Orleans.
It is the worst time.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to tell them that I don't want to pick anything in Orleans.
In Orleans?
Yeah, I don't want to get paid there.
Where do you work?
It's a credit union basically.
So yes. I think you told me about it.
Yeah.
You better not take that all the way, bro.
No.
It's too far. It's too far.
No, it's not worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
So we shifted away from the subject. Definitely. So let's start by talking about your program in Carleton and / Algonquin. So it's mainly in Algonquin.
Yeah, exactly. So I already graduated from Algonquin. I did the 2-year course. What the thing is, it's a bridge program. I can do 2 years in Algonquin and I can transfer to Carleton with the credits. So basically that's how it is. So in this April, I just completed my Algonquin and trying to look for jobs and everything because of COVID. It's hard, but trying to work, and then probably because of it's online, I don't want to go right now. But probably by next year, like Jan or September, I will try to go Carleton and complete my 2 years. That's all.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Hopefully.
Thank you.
Do you hate online?
Oh shit, no, I can't even. Yeah, I don't. Because it's hard to study in class. Imagine getting it online.
Definitely.
It's hard to get questions, answers, online. It's kind of hard, I would say. That's why.
Seriously, what sucks is we're just used to I need to be physically there.
Exactly.
I need a prof. I need someone. I need people around me, so I get into the mood of studying. I can't do it with this.
You get lazy at home. You know, it depends a lot on the environment that you're studying.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, we all must adapt, right?
Adapt.
Because the thing is, after we graduate,
that's true.
We're trying to look for a job. Most companies hire online right now, and
exactly
you might only find job opportunities that best match with your profession online.
Yeah,
so if true. We're not used this is the perfect opportunity for us to use this these times for it to adapt, right? I'm not saying it to say that I'm the guy that studies all the time. It's very hard, and the first month in this semester I did very bad.
I remember.
Yeah, but then
me too.
Exactly, it was a struggle.
It was both of us trying to study, and then we would just sit for 4 hours in a coffee shop, and then we don't get anything done.
Because your mind is not there.
No,
it's things around you aren't helping you getting into the mood of studying. But like, I mean, the ultimate goal
Mhm.
we should have is to be able to adapt to that system because we need to. It's just because we need to.
But
Yeah, there's
the
no-
only problem is because of COVID, you can't even go to coffee shops or the environment, you know,
anymore.
like libraries. When
Yeah,
you
you
go
have to do
these
it at
kind of-
home. Exactly.
At home is hard. Like you have
Yeah.
family, you have cousins, sister,
Yeah.
brothers, you know. That's a tough thing. But of course we have to.
It is tough.
From what I heard, Shopify is actually trying to move their more business online,
Mhm.
and like they're trying to hire people who, even after COVID, when everything is back to offline, they're trying to get people so they can work from home. Actually, that's what I heard.
Well, for a business like Shopify, they can do it. You know
Exactly,
what I mean?
exactly.
But let's say for Cineplex,
Yeah,
like
it's
what are you
entertainment,
gonna-
retail, those kind of things.
So
Has
what
to
are you
be.
gonna do? You show me the movie at my home, like I got Netflix.
I got Netflix, of course, and I pay nothing for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, things are a little bit hard, but
They are. I don't know.
hopefully.
I've been looking at those businesses and like
Mhm.
hopefully they survive after. Like,
Of course, they have been affected a lot.
Yeah.
Even my dad has his business. It has been really a struggle.
It is.
So hopefully everything gets back to normal.
An example, my dad actually he had to close down his business.
See,
because-
that's why.
exactly because like we couldn't afford anymore the losses that this business is creating
Mhm.
basically. So it was
No.
it was a smart idea to close it down for now and then see what we can do after.
Like this thing has benefited a lot of people, a lot of businesses.
Yeah, definitely.
Because what you need in these kind of times, people are buying, but it has affected a lot of local businesses, which should be more able to like. There's too much competition. Local businesses need to have something, you know, and it has been shut down. That's what
Unfortunately.
it has been unfortunate.
Unfortunately, we see that. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but at
Listen.
the same time, it opened a lot of opportunities.
it does. It does.
Like I know a lot of businesses that made a lot of money because of COVID.
Yes,
Uh,
exactly.
For example, lawyers,
Mhm.
lawyers. I mean, accounters in companies.
I know
These
as
these
well.
administration jobs
Mm-hmm.
that can be done online.
Mhm.
Companies started to seek for more people into that field, and as well as every business that's online based. For example, Carleton
Exactly.
University, right? They are still charging the same per course.
Oh yeah.
But like
That's the thing
their
that I don't
cost
get.
is literally nothing. But
No,
but
yeah.
the prof pay. That's it.
So
Exactly.
that's the thing. That's the thing that I was gonna touch upon. That's the thing that I don't get, and I really hate. So like right now, I'm paying the same thing as if I'm in class,
Mhm.
but I have to teach myself. That
That's what
thing.
I'm saying.
It's like I have to make the effort, the extra effort, to teach myself, and like I feel that like also profs, like it's not their fault, but like they're trying to like give us the subject as much as they can,
Mm-hmm.
so they're pushing more assignments on us, making the assumption that we got a lot of time at home. We
Of
don't
course.
actually. Like it's not the same.
To be honest, if I were in their shoes, I would have done the same thing. Because you know,
they
it's
got
too
no choice.
overwhelming. Students, like hundreds of students asking you these questions every day. They have to make more assignments, so they have more things to do and get used to themselves
Right.
instead of asking questions. I understand both sides.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely.
I can't. I don't know what's gonna happen, but we need to see. Hopefully things get better.
Hopefully
You
things get
know?
better.
Yeah. True.
I feel that like people are now making the assumption of like like if 2021 comes in, everything's gonna be
Yeah.
all right,
2021 comes here is the beautiful day back again.
No,
You
it's
know?
like what happened in 2020 does not expire at the end of 2020.
No, it doesn't.
Time and events
Yeah.
aren't connected.
Can we explain this to people?
Yeah, like I mean, of course, COVID began in the beginning of the year, and everything began to happen in that year. But that doesn't mean things will end at the
I
end
mean,
of the year.
it started like a joke, okay, but
Yeah.
like,
Now they're getting serious about
they're
it.
getting like
It's a
my-
meme, you know.
My coworkers actually don't accept the idea of like COVID is not gonna go anywhere like anytime soon. Like
Yeah.
not at the end of 2020. Like it's gonna.
What do you mean at the end of? We're already at the end of 2020.
Yeah, but
We're
like
already
no,
close
no,
to
no.
November.
What I mean is like
So,
not
yeah, I mean,
January.
exactly.
January 1st, 2021. There's no COVID anymore. That's what they're thinking.
Everything will be till I don't know till when.
I'm pretty sure until summer when the vaccine comes,
Yeah.
it will slow down, but it will still be there, like a flu or like any flu, you know.
Yeah. It will be there.
But
If the vaccine comes,
if the vaccine comes, I'm pretty sure it will, because a lot of countries are at their like third stage and their testing almost done. So hopefully,
Well, we're hoping so. Like I
Yeah.
know a lot of countries have recovered from this thing. And
true.
then-
but
Exactly.
it's I think the way I look at it is it brought a lot of lessons to a lot of people.
Mhm.
That,
It taught us a lot.
of course.
And the idea that let's focus more on technology
Mhm.
and our use of technology. That idea was like the main topic that was on table after COVID hit. I was reading a paper the other day in one of my courses, and it's written by a German philosopher. His name is Heidegger. This paper was released 1965.
I've read of it. I was
Yeah.
gonna mention that.
Yeah, 1965, and he said he was explaining that there is something wrong in the world's philosophy. All of the philosophers try their best to understand the reason of existence. Why do we exist? What does it mean for us to be human beings, and what are we asked to do, and why did we come in the first place
Mhm.
to this life? So he came out, and then he switched this vision of the philosophers for it to be, what does it mean to live in such a modern life? What does it mean to be a human being that has every necessary technology and all of the needs digitalized and stuff like that? And that was not back in 1966. So he made this argument that says the only way that we can adapt to technology and the use of computers and stuff like that. And it was in the beginning of everything. Like it was even back in 1966. He said, it is our fate that in these times we are getting more embodied with technology. But what's gonna change our behaviors as human beings towards technology is the moment we start to view it as water. And then he says water versus plastic. We always view technology as plastic. And
Right.
it's just a tool that we use, right? He says, let's start to view it as water that takes the shape of your hand and gets into you. And you are, as a human being, now wired with technological tools. So this is not just a tool. It's changing us as a human beings.
Mhm.
This
It's-
paper is now being discussed during COVID, and the big jump that happened from everybody on the planet trying to go online.
Mhm.
The life, the work, the lifestyle, the study, and everything is online. His talk is evident in what happened this year, in my opinion.
It's amazing.
What I heard is, I don't know if that was Stephen Hawking or I was reading some novel. It said this pandemic, there is going to be one pandemic in the future,
Mhm.
which we are discussing now, and saying it was a crucial thing to be happening to us, because by this we came to know that something like this can happen to humans, and if this happens in the future, we will be ready. So this pandemic was really important to us, according to Stephen Hawking, or I don't remember the author, who wrote in 19 something, and they said this next pandemic will be really important to us because we're not going to be ready this time. We were not ready at all.
No.
But for the next time, we will be ready for that thing because we have already experienced it. Because the technology is here now, and we know how to deal with things, and we have records, and we can keep the record of whatever happening, whatever. So next time we'll be ready. That's
Exactly.
what I heard.
And even when it comes to organization, like I've never seen people more organized than now. Like even if you go to any
I love
church or a mosque or any religious institution,
No,
this is the first time of us seeing people standing in a line and taking their spot, bringing a plastic bag with a mat, with a praying mattress. It was like, this is actually satisfying. It's for the first time seeing ourselves as a community and every other person following rules. And me personally, at first, like the behavior changes, right? Like, because at first when somebody tells you do and don't, the first thing you think of is how to break that rule.
Exactly.
Right.
Which comes to the saying that rules are meant to be broken.
Mhm.
But after COVID, we are more like to how to apply this rule.
You're helping yourself and other
others.
people a lot now. I would say that.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so back to the thing that people are not following the guidelines. They're not wearing masks. Now everyone's just wearing masks, and like it became that shame or wrong that like if you're not wearing a mask, like what are you doing?
That's a good thing.
It's a very good thing.
You put too much pressure,
Definitely.
that it becomes a habit.
So, but what I think is like people do that because like no one wants to gamble with their lives. You know what I
Exactly,
mean?
exactly.
Like I don't want to get COVID.
I know people who got it and they're in the worst situation. Like before, they're like, if it happens, I'll be okay, you know. But I know someone, not gonna of course mention, they have been like in the bed from last 1.5 months. It's a fever, comes, it goes. Of course, you took care of yourself, but the immune system is gone, you know. If it affects a lot.
Some people get affected really badly, and some people don't. Like, okay, this is gonna scare you. Most of my cousins back home got it. Like, I know at least 26 to 30 people who got it. And then, good thing I don't have contacts with them. But like how it happened was because they're like connected with each other. They see each other every day, and then they're not caring that much. Back in Iraq, when one of them got it, he gave it to mostly everyone else.
Of course, back in country, they're not following the way we are. Like, no. It's not as organized, you know.
They're not as organized, but they have a way. So like basically, they would deploy the military to the streets, and they would close down some streets.
They have to, yeah.
They have to, exactly. I know in Baghdad they did that. Like, I think it was 7 or 8 known streets, big streets. They close them down. Like, you can't. No one can enter. No one can leave.
Same for us. Yes.
Like, nothing. You can't do nothing. You can only go to the local shop that's in the street. Like,
and that's the only thing you can do.
Exactly. Democracy doesn't help in such situations. Yeah, but you mentioned something about you said most of the people wear masks because they don't want to gamble on their lives, which I disagree in a way, because a lot of people are just doing it because it's becoming more of a cultural habit. It's not.
It's both, I would say.
It's both, but a lot of people, including me, for example, like 90% of the times I wear the mask, it's not because I remembered that. Listen, if I don't wear it, I'm gonna be
same for me.
Oh, no, but isn't
it's just because it's becoming a cultural habit. It's just like you cannot go outside naked and just walk on the road, because it's culturally people will look at even if you believe in what you're doing, people will look at you in a wrong way. So you wearing whatever clothes you wear became more of a cultural
part of you, actually.
More of a cultural habit.
You will see someone wearing like pants on their head. You will say that guy's crazy, right? 2 days after, you see 10 people doing that. You're like, what is this happening? You see 100 people. You're like, oh, that's a trend. I gotta try it. That's what happened.
Exactly. And then it because it started from as a political order, as an order that came from the government that says do 1, 2, 3,
or you get fined.
Exactly. I can give an example of when they invented the train. When in the UK. People started to take the train. White people started to take the train. For a black person to be able to take the train, it was culturally strange, even for black people themselves, because they have been discriminated against for the past hundreds of years, you know. But like the first businessman that allowed them to go inside, a big movement happened against that. Like, how come when a black person sits besides a white person? But then with the time it became culturally accepted for black people to sit with white people in the same train.
So things have to take the baby steps and has to become a habit. You can't just impose something, it works. Has to become a habit with time.
Yeah,
of course.
Needs time, and like some movements, like some lives actually have been lost for some cause, you know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah. Saying that, like, you know, for example, as we were saying, like, for the movement of Black Lives Matter, for that even movement to happen, there were actually lives lost in the last 100-something years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's a historical pain. It's a pain that still exists.
It does
today.
And will.
So before Black Lives Matter movement, a lot of people, including a lot of us, thought that this racism ended. We are already living in a peaceful country because the United States was ruled by a black president, for example. So a lot of people thought that's it. Like, we're good, right? White and black are good. But no, there is still a lot of people who holds this ideology, that racist ideology, that's very dangerous, and it's spreading in our children and spreading in the educational system. And So yeah, these issues still exist.
It's back to what you said. It's making it more culturally acceptable
Mm-hmm.
to see other people in that culture and that society.
Yeah, and just as media promotes some TV shows and movies promotes for this sort of racism, the only solution would be for other platforms and other media producers to fight it with more awareness, and when it comes to movies and TV shows of the what is it, of the equality between the both of the races, you know.
You need a realization what's right. You can't be just looking at things and be like, oh, it says it's right, it has to be right. You have to realize it. Without the realization, nothing's gonna change.
Definitely.
So
So without shifting away,
we shifted a lot.
We
we
shifted
shifted
a
a lot.
oh my. So we were talking about mainly getting involved in uni, and I had a person the other day who was Farouk. You know Farouk?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of
We're gonna
course.
talk about Farouk a little bit
Well, Farouk.
after.
Farouk. Let me take 30 seconds. No, actually 29 seconds should be enough for you. He mentioned he beat me in FIFA, which is not true. We played 6 games. He won 3 of them. I won 3 of them. And we thought to rematch some other time. But he came to this episode and talked about winning against me, which is not true. So Farouk,
Any day.
well, any day, come anytime. If I don't beat you, we'll come back to the episode and we'll talk about it.
Definitely.
It's gonna be a battlefield.
It has
yeah.
to be.
Oh yeah. Now we created some heat in the podcast between
It's
Farouk
all
and
good.
Harman.
It's all
That's
good.
it.
Farouk, I need to see this person.
Farouk is an amazing person.
He's an
actually,
amazing person,
yeah.
not gonna lie. Like, looking at him taking care of the whole QSA with other members, of course, has a bigger responsibility. He's been doing amazing. I know this guy from like 2 years. Whenever, as a club member myself, needed help for anything in the club, he never said no to me.
Yeah.
I really respect this guy. Of course.
That's very important. I spoke about clubs with him, and I just I saw his perspective of like, you know, he started helping clubs out, and then he was like, yo, I want to do this. I like it. I want to see where I can go, or how much I can go with this. So like he started making his way with clubs.
Exactly. Yeah.
He went to multiple ones, like not just one club. He was part of a lot of clubs, and he took his knowledge, and now he's
like being at that position that needs a lot of network connections and work.
Yeah.
I saw him standing every day asking for like the votes, and which you usually have to do. So he worked hard for that. He deserves it. So
oh yeah, definitely.
He deserves to lose in FIFA too, though.
Definitely. Well, we'll see that. We'll see that. I guess. But yeah, Farouk. So he's great, but I want to see your perspective on clubs. So I just want to get started on like, what was the first what was the first step that you took, and why did you take that step into getting involved with these clubs?
So how it started is I became friends with people from the club. It started with, I would say, Siusma, and I met Omar Aldeb, another great person. So I met him, and he introduced me to the club, even though I was not going to Carleton at that point. And I became friends with more and more people in Siusma because I started going to the events and everything. And at some point, I'm like, I love doing this. This is an amazing work, and I want to be more involved. I talked to Omar, and from last year I became a part of the team. So since then we've been working on the events and things to do for the people, for the community in the Ottawa and anywhere who they need, and it has been an amazing experience. But that's how it basically started. It started from being friends and getting to know how amazing the things are going on in the club and everything, and I got more involved.
Oh my.
Yeah.
But like, what makes a person who's like, don't get me wrong, but like, you're in Algonquin mainly, but like, you helped out a lot of clubs from my knowledge and from my connections that I know as well. Like, I know that you helped out a lot of clubs in Carleton.
Yeah, I kind of did, yeah.
Yeah, I can name a couple like like really helped out. Like you're just like your hidden soul, their hidden soldier, like the one that no one knows about. Like, but he just like takes loads of work and just like shine
Like
there.
not too much, but no, I support it a lot. Cause I basically all the clubs they know each other, you know. So I had friends basically in most of the clubs. Little be Iraqi club I was part of as a executive. I was See You Smile, PSA, Indian clubs, Pakistani club. I had friends, so whenever I could, I helped them. It was more like helping a friend, you know, for those kind of reasons.
What would you say that like the biggest thing that you got out of those clubs?
As in, to be honest, I made a lot of great friends, to be honest. I made a lot of good friends, lifelong friends.
Mhm.
I have gained confidence. I have become more like outgoing to people. I know how to talk to people, you know? It gives, like, imagine going to an event every week and meeting same people every week, new people every week.
Mhm.
It gives, like, it changes your mindset. Now you want to, like, you know how to deal with the people, how you want to talk to the people. You want to have more friends and everything.
Yeah.
So it gives, it has taught me a lot. Not gonna lie.
Definitely. I want to start by you know, talking a little bit about getting connections. Because that's a main thing.
That's a main thing,
When you're joining clubs, that's a main thing.
That's what, yeah. You gain a lot.
Basically, your connections are the best thing that you can get out of clubs.
Exactly, yeah.
Mainly. So like, okay, so what I'm saying is, so connections between Carleton and Algonquin College. Actually, how did it help you out with like your school? Did it help you out?
Of course, a lot. Like,
because I want to get you started talking about where did those connections come in use or like come and help? Because a lot of our viewers like to know about like what you're getting,
how you can gain, of course. So networking, like first it becomes like it starts with becoming friends, you know.
Definitely.
And moving on, when you know a lot of people, in my life I would say it has helped me so many times. I have one example, like just a small example. I was looking for a job, and that was like this summer, actually, in the beginning of this summer, or no, beginning of this year. So I was looking for a job, just a part-time job, because I was doing my last semester in Algonquin. And so we had one of the sponsors, 3 Cents, which is a coffee shop. Everyone loves it, of course. So they were one of the sponsors for our 2 of the club, which is Iraqi Association and PSA, and I was actually the YSA as well, Yemeni Association.
Yep.
So I just reached out to one of them. I'm like, I was actually looking for a job. If you know anything, or if you guys need any help, let me know. This guy, his name is Faris. So I was working with him. He asked me, "Oh yes, just come like after a day or 2. I'll give you a call, and you can start working." I was surprised. Like there was no interview, nothing. Of course, he knows about me and everything because we've been getting sponsors and everything. And I started working in like 2 days, and it was good. Like that's one of the examples how networking works. And other than that, like I know a few friends who are dealers, like who works at the dealership work. Some of them who know sponsors. Some of them who like I have just widened a lot of options for myself, like knowing a lot of people. So it works. That's how it helped me.
It is a great thing.
Yeah.
I know a couple of people who are in Algonquin who used to come to Carleton University just either to hang out or just do some of their assignments. So like it's one of the great things that you still have some connections like in between schools.
Of course.
I feel that some people don't pay so much attention for that and just like, you know, stay within their bubble, you know what I mean? And don't
That's not gonna help you
out
though,
of it.
you know?
Yeah.
Imagine like you're studying in university, you gain good network with your professors. I'm 100% sure once you graduate, those professors, like if the professor likes you and you have a good connection with them, they put their reference, they help you find jobs because they're already in this field, you know.
Yeah, but
they're
like
teaching you.
If you're busy with the club's work, you won't be able to you won't be able to build a good relationship with the professors. Isn't that right?
That's true, but then you have to balance it, right? You have to balance the club life and you have to balance the school life, which is hard. I know, of course. In doing engineering, computer science, it takes a lot of things. If you're gonna spend a lot of time on the clubs,
exactly.
you will
because
barely have time.
I kind of disagree with the point that says that what you just mentioned about the bubble. It's a bubble for people in clubs. They see it as a bubble, but like if you go, because I know a lot of people who are based on that lifestyle of me going from my home to the lecture,
and then that's it, and then go
from
back.
a lecture maximum to the library to study,
Yeah,
and then just go to have a quick cup of coffee with a friend, and then back home, right? This lifestyle is not a bubble. It's a bubble for people who have the priority of building a big network. It's a priority game for those students right now in these 5 years. Building connections is not necessarily their first priority, because let me give you an example. I know one of my friends in university, his GPA is 11 point something. In his third year, two companies, one in Vancouver, one in Toronto, reached out to him and said, once you graduate, your position is already in the company. We need you. Right? Because the way it works here in Canada is companies contact schools and say, give us referrals, give us names of your best students in that field, for example. And then the university, what they do is they open the audits for students and they take the highest. So they study them, right? They go check their social media life and stuff like that, and as well as their GPA. So him being in the bubble, right, helped him out, helped his future family and his own income and his future income out, right? While on the other side, if he was outside the bubble, he would have, in my opinion, it's impossible for a person who's spending a lot of time outside the university to be able to have a 11
I have an example
GPA.
too. I agree with you, but I disagree with you as well. Yeah. So for a person like that to get into that situation, he was lucky, and he was genius. He was studying hard. He was working hard for it. But imagine, out of 100 students, 90 are working hard as him. There's too much competition then, right?
That's right.
And then if that company has to choose only 2 people, they can't choose 90 people, right?
No.
Like, that's the situation I'm putting on. But then you think about someone who is really social, who loves going out with friends and everything,
and still has a balance.
I know someone who was good in studies as well, but not the best, and he was involved in clubs a lot, and he's one of the CUSMAN member. So after working with the club and everything, getting connections and everything, getting sponsors, one of the company from the sponsor, they are like a financial company. They're like, I have seen your work. I see how amazing work you are doing, helping community people, putting everyone together in the same place, and like do those kind of things. I want to have a person like you in my company. And not gonna lie, they were getting paid before starting, like getting graduated. They were getting 6 figures.
Wow.
Like he was studying, he was having balance between both. It's not like he was not studying and he just got a job out of club. He was studying, his grades were good, he had an interview, he got passed, and he was working. So
because you still need knowledge.
If you're not studying and just putting everything on the clubs, that's not the way. You're not coming to university for clubs. You have to keep a balance, of course. So
time management is the key.
Which most of the people, they don't have this skill.
Yeah,
because simply they don't teach us that.
You're not taught in high school.
No, they don't.
You know why they don't teach us? That's a business. If they're gonna teach you how to time manage, how to make money out of, like how to take care of your accounts, banking, everything in the future, what's the point of university then? So I was watching a video. They said it's all business. So
it's a corrupted system.
Of course,
it's a corrupted system.
I think we spoke about like things that they don't teach us in school. Yeah, before this podcast,
we talked about credit scores. Specifically credit scores, but like take it from a broader point of view. We are still learning geography and history and stuff like that. I'm not saying that's bad, but I'm saying their importance is right now. Okay, they are important, but there are more important things. People go out of high school, they have no clue what's the OSAP. What is it? What does it mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
What does it mean for me to get a loan from the government?
For God's sake, like every time I apply for OSAP, I still pray to God that I get it. Like I'm not joking. Like okay, I apply, I know how
Exactly.
to apply, but you still have this feeling inside of you.
Like I mean,
like,
I mean,
what am I
for
doing?
example, cars, right?
Yeah.
Everybody on this planet will drive a car
Of course.
at any point in their life.
Yeah.
But we have never been taught anything about cars in high school. But
Unless
we don't
you-
know how the car
unless you're
works. We don't know
researching.
what's oil.
Yeah.
How does it work? We don't know how does the fuel gets burned
Exactly.
for the car to move. We don't know nothing. We don't know what to do if I lose
Not if
one
you
of
went
my.
to Richmond High School. We had a mechanical class.
This is a very small
That's
example.
a
Specific,
very,
right?
That's a
That's a
specific
specific
example.
Yeah, it's a very specific example. But like take the subjects that.
Yeah,
And by the
it's
way,
not-
here
it's not-
is a way more better than other countries
yeah.
because they teach they teach some skills.
Mm-hmm.
How to build this table, how to build a chair and stuff like that. But like I mean, the skills that we use the day we leave high school,
Mm-hmm.
these skills aren't taught.
No.
Aren't taught, and I'm not saying their schools are supposed to make us ready for everything. It's just have an idea, have a basic knowledge of what you're expecting
Mm-hmm.
when you go out. You know.
An example of that when I finished high school, I had a year where I it wasn't like a whole year, but it was kind of like most of that year I worked in construction and locksmith as well. What's surprising about it is I never even held a screwdriver in my life before. All my skills were computer skills. And I wasn't like the talkative guy. I wasn't really like, I don't know how to talk much. So like if you ask me a question, I would answer it by yes, no, or just like a short answer period. That's it.
Robotic.
Very robotic. So like when I got into the work field, the actual work field, I was surprised of how much stuff that I know and how much skills that I have embedded in me. I just like had to like try it and get it to work. So like
exactly.
I feel like if they kind of like, let us more.
Yeah, I mean
like, don't teach
even
us, but
phones.
let us know.
Even phones. Like
Yeah.
just look at things we use. Even phones. Like everybody has a phone.
Definitely.
And we are taught nothing about phones in schools.
No.
Right?
We just know how to use it. We don't know how it works.
What is it? What's the processor? What's the
what's
a graphic
happening,
card?
huh?
Like
Yeah.
these things, a laptop. Like the laptop has been there for like the past 20 years, but still the education system is very like is focusing more on the borders between countries and geography and stuff like that.
Where
While everything is on Google Maps
Like,
and everything is there.
I would say if they start teaching more practical stuff, if they start teaching how to start earning money a little bit, if they start teaching how to do these basic things, I would say there will be a revolution
Exactly.
in human
Exactly.
beings,
100%.
Like there will be less poverty when if something like this happens. Oh, I already learned in high school. Oh, this is one of the ways I can start earning money if I'm losing a lot.
yeah.
Oh, this is how debt happens. Like me as a person, I have not attracted anything but speeding tickets and
Yeah.
parking tickets in the last 2 months. But if I were taught that this
Exactly.
is how it works and you have to be careful at this point, I know I study for G2, study for
It's
G1.
nothing. It's nothing.
That's not. I
You-
put
you
like
actually
two
said-
hours only
So
just to
in
pass.
high school, you need to take chemistry, right? Now,
Yes.
let me ask you a question. Is it me knowing about regulations about the country that I live in more important than chemistry?
Exactly.
Sorry, you're studying. I just remembered. I just remembered that that's your major. But I'm
That's
saying
my
in
major.
high school,
We
right?
better change it over.
Yeah, in high school, it is very important for us to know what happens if I do a criminal act.
Exactly.
What happens if I steal? How does the rule like? It was an optional subject that we have in school, but it's not optional.
It's
It must
something
be
that
there.
people
It must be there every year
And
since
also-
even grade 6.
also
Yeah.
also they don't make it that appealing, to people. They don't
But it
make
must be.
as nice.
It must
They
be.
should. Even chemistry, like they don't make it. Ask any high school student, they will tell you it's the most boring class that they ever took. Except my high school. I had this
Yeah.
great teacher, right? So like she made it a
Yeah.
little bit more fun.
For example, let me give an example about social media and media and how and filming, directing, stuff like that.
Mhm.
We have 7 billion people on planet, and I believe 5 billion of them minimum they
how
have
to use
social media,
it. They do. Yeah.
right? But we never know how Facebook works. How are our data collected? What do they
That's
use
the
it
main
for?
thing.
These are all topics that must be taught to high school students before going outside, before taking the decision. Because that's why 90% of students that you see around you aren't happy with their major,
But that's
because simply they don't know what they want.
of course.
They don't know their direction, their orientation.
That's what I'm saying. This is all like business or the way to think. They already know about it because we have educational minister, we have minister. They know about it, but they don't implement it because they
it's
think
business.
it's a business. They're not gonna gain anything out of it.
Free labor.
Free labor. So they need someone who's not smart enough to do work, to go work at Tim Hortons or gas stations. They need those kind of labor, right? If everyone is educated, who's gonna work? It's all mindset. It's all business, and they all know about it, of course.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, and we
That's
were talking
what it
about
is.
clubs.
We
went all the way.
All the way.
Of course,
Yeah, back to the point
Back to
of
the point.
like time management.
of course.
Okay,
Yes.
because it's a main thing that we stumble upon in this podcast. Time management. Time management is a tricky thing.
It is a
And I've
tricky
said
thing.
it like 10,000 times on this podcast. It's the most tricky thing. But I like to view it from my guest's point of view. So like everyone has their own way of time management. I just want to know your way of like managing your time between school, work, family.
It's a lot.
It's also like clubs as well, friends. You know what I mean? So I just wanna see like how you manage your time basically first.
For me, when I had the college and university life, my main focus should have been, of course, studying and working, because I have to work, me as an international, me as a immigrant to this country, my two focuses are studying so I can get a job in the future, and to work so I can get my expenses done, But then comes the clubs I want to be part of. Then comes the problems I face in the day-to-day life. Like, imagine there's something wrong with the family back in country. There's something wrong with your friends.
It kind of destroys your whole day.
It destroys your whole thing. All your, like, time management is harder than what you think or you talk about, It's way complex. But at the end, with the time, you learn about it. So,
but I feel like by giving more examples and talking about this thing, that's why I talk about it in this podcast, because like actually I spoke to most of our viewers that are watching this podcast, and they actually compliment time management. Like we talk about it here because time management is being taught in this podcast by showing more examples of it.
Exactly.
If you see what I mean, like we show basically, oh, there's this way of time management, there's that way of time management. You can choose the best in ways and make your own way that works for you. Because at the end, you have a deadline, you want to follow the deadline.
Like, I give example as in it's really hard to have the time management, but at the end of the day, you have to do it, right? You have to get things done. So like, if you're facing something, if you're whatever, think about it. Like, think about what's important. Like, I know this is going to affect my day. Like, give yourself time. Don't rush it like, oh, let me complete this work. Let this complete. You're going to just rush it. Give yourself 5 minutes. Think about it. Meditate, whatever you can do. Prioritize it. I know there's problems you're facing right now. You have family problems. You have work problems, whatever. But give yourself some time. Relax. Then start doing one by one. Plan. Always plan. Write it down what you want to do. Cut down what you're done. It will clean a line for you. It will give you a straight way you have to go. You have like couple of goals like things you want to complete in a day, and that would help a lot. Like, take baby steps. Don't be rushing like, I will complete this whole thing today. This is like, go slow. It's okay.
I completely agree with you. I also believe that there's two things that I did, because in my first 2 years in university, they were bad. When it comes to time management and school and everything.
Well, I feel you.
Yeah, I was literally outside everything, and I was outdated when it comes to deadlines and stuff like that. But two things that were changed, and they affected everything: sleep and patience. Sleep, because if you sleep at 10 and wake up at 6, which is the best times for a brain to be sleeping at, you literally have 5 extra hours in your day than if you woke up at 11, which most of the people do, right?
Yeah.
If you wake up at 6, these 5 hours will be used wisely because your brain is at the highest energy level.
Like even when you wake up, you
Mhm.
don't want to go to social media.
Exactly.
You feel like you want to do something productive because in the morning it just comes to yourself.
Exactly.
I felt that.
And then patience, because
And then patience.
the thing about time management, you know what's the problem? The problem is not that people don't have time.
No.
The problem with time management is that people don't have patience. They are not patient enough when they're doing something. They get bored easily. They get distracted easily. So instead of us trying to have more time in the day, try to get more out of the time you already have.
Of course.
Yep.
And the only way you can get more out of the time you already have is to be patient when doing things.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Here's a trick that I learned from someone, and for some time I used to make fun of it. It's workout sometimes, get some time for you to like throw your phone away, have some time for yourself, and work out your
Yeah.
body. You need to use this
It
energy.
helped a lot. It helped a lot.
Well, I used to make fun of it, like in my first year, right? So I'm like, what is that gonna do to me? You know what I
No,
mean?
it actually changed everything.
I was frustrated for most of the year until I got back on working out, a little bit, and I was like, ooh, I feel better, like I can wake
Because
up
it provides you positivity.
because you wake up the next morning and you're like, ooh, I have some energy, I wanna study.
So I used to watch a lot of Casey Neistat vlogs.
The best.
Yeah,
the
the
best
best.
guy, one of the best guys for the vlogs. But I'm trying to mention is one time he said, if you're sleeping 8 hours a day, cut that to 6 hours and work out for those 2 hours. After a month, tell me if you don't have more energy sleeping only 6 hours and workout, you will still have more energy to do anything. So workout basically, what's gonna give it to you? It's gonna give you more stamina, energy. That's one point. But second thing, what it's gonna give you is when you see changes in yourself, gives confidence, not just for your body, not just for talking, for everything. Your brain is
Yep.
more conscious, more active and confident about that you're gonna do this thing. You will be accomplished because you already accomplished making changes in your body or whatever. You will be like, if I can do that, of course I can do that.
Yeah,
So
100%. And since we opened the talk about gym, one of the problems that I personally faced when I began is that I always look for progress.
Oh yeah.
Till I changed my mentality. Gary Vee, I listened to one of his lectures and he said,
I love this guy.
yeah, and he said,
Oh, yeah.
go to the gym because you want to go to the gym, because you want to go there today, just to move your body and forget about the progress, forget about the results, and focus more on the process. You'll start to enjoy the process.
What do you want to do? Do it properly.
Exactly. So after this mentality was changed, I started to see myself enjoying the process of doing anything, even studying. It affected that it had a direct effect, a manifest effect that was obvious. Like in the first month, my friends, like they could tell that there is something that's changed in your life. You're being more positive. You're being more patient. You have more energy. And at the same time, as I said, the times that I added these 2 hours of in the gym, these times these times were the busiest times that I ever experienced in my life. Yet I had the highest grades in that semester. Again, to the point that says,
You got some
it's
energy,
not about
right?
how much time you have. It's about how much you take out of your time.
Exactly.
How much you use it.
If you remember when as I said in the beginning of the podcast, when we used to, like in the beginning of the semester, when we used to go to some coffee shops and sit down and try to get some work done, we used to work like for 4 or 5 hours and get like barely anything done because like you're not in the mindset. You're not in the right mindset. And then if you remember, like midway throughout this semester, I picked up the phone and called you, and you're like, yo, I've been like at home doing a lot of stuff. Like in my hour, I used to get lots of things done. Now it's way better
Yeah.
because you just put yourself in the right mindset.
It's honestly, it's not me. But you know what happened? I got a grade and it was an F for one of the assignments.
Oh, that was.
So I looked at that F and I was like, one day I have to realize that I must study. There's no escape.
Yeah, it's like
Right. It was just, and it was shocking because that's my first F in any assignment in the 4 years that I had that I'm in Carleton at. So when I looked at this F, I was like, I was literally pissed off to the point where I wanted to do something to the prof. Like I wanted to talk to him. I wanted to do anything, but it's an F, right?
Yeah.
And I know that I deserve it. I didn't expect to get an A. I expected C plus.
Like
C plus.
Like I cheated. At least I should get C.
I didn't cheat because it's an assignment.
Oh, yeah.
And my major, there's no way for you to cheat. Even if you want to cheat, you can't. Because they're all, even the midterm that I just did, there's nothing such as multiple answers,
you
questions.
have to write it. Like
You have to write
not
everything is right.
calculation.
Because it's journalism, right?
Of course.
It's communication media, but it's all based on research and writing and reading, stuff like that. So yeah, when I saw the F, I was like, this F helped me out in all of the other courses to raise the grades there.
Of course.
I feel like, okay, there's something that I said before we started recording. I'm not sure if you heard it, which is about midterms. Okay, I said I feel like midterms are just like, a wake up slap for us. It's just like a slap to the face. It's like, wake up, buddy. You need to study.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
And then after you spending a lot of time studying, your brain will be constantly in that mood and telling you that you're running out of time, even if you're not.
Yep.
But this, this fire that starts in your heart, in your conscious.
You're just stressed. Sleeping, you're stressed.
Yeah.
Going to shower, you're stressed.
You're stressed. And the only way to get out of stress is to
work on it.
To make progress.
As a human, you're not perfect, right? As a human, you need to get slapped almost every week to work on your things. So midterms is one of the examples. Ticketing, like tickets I get, is one of the examples.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Broken hearts, those kind of everything. It's a part of life, and that's how we're progressing. If there's no downfalls, how is there upfall?
Yeah.
So we all.
You don't want to back to tickets. You don't want to end up, like hopefully not. No one wants to end up, in the hospital because of it.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen the other day they had to close down the 416 because of an accident?
I heard of it. Yes.
Yes. Like they literally had to rush him like in a helicopter to the hospital. Like I have a picture of the car. The car is mostly. I was surprised he got out of it alive. And like
hopefully they're good.
I'm hoping that they recover out of this, and hopefully like it's like it's the car is gone, that's it, like, but your life is more important now. It's hopefully you get a lesson out of it, and then you'll be more careful about this stuff. Because like surprisingly, have you seen like how many accidents are happening after COVID?
No,
it has like extremely increased.
Really?
Yeah. Whoa. After people came back from quarantine, like Ottawa is reporting a lot of accidents daily. It's daily right
They
now.
lost the skill of driving.
Yeah,
because they were at homes for like months.
Or people are just like careless right now.
Taking it easy because there's nobody on roads.
Yeah. Or they want to get that adrenaline pumped up,
Yeah, that only if your car is a 6-cylinder.
Or
BMW.
Maybe there's too many G2 bookings that they're like, let it pass. Let this guy pass.
Yeah.
This happens. But no, and
like your ticket wasn't as dangerous.
No. It was just basic one. But in last 2 months, I have been ticketed more than last 2 years. And in last 2 months, I have almost got an accident like 5 times, and none of my faults. None of my faults. Yes. I was good. Nothing happened. But I agree with you. For some reason, there has been more.
They're not paying attention. Like
things like that. Like I'm going in one lane, they're going in one lane without indicator. They're just chaining, looking the blind spots. Have like happened with 3 times with me. I don't know what's happening, but.
Or they just think that you're trying to pick a race on the street, which I'm not. I literally want to get to one place right now. I'm not looking for a ticket, man. No one wants to race you. Don't look at me in a weird way and then rev your engine. I'm not gonna go after you.
Or maybe they don't like my cute old Honda Civic and they're like fucking like this car is let it be.
Or they tailgate you like, I'm driving on the right lane, for God's sake. Exactly. Go to the left. Go to the left side. Like seriously,
it's been a little bit quarantine to 2020. 2020, huh?
It is. Blame it on 2020.
Blame it on 2020. 2021 will be perfect. That's what we all say.
Let's hope so. I mean,
let's hope so. I mean,
so, no one, but like, theoretically, in our minds, 2021 is the solution.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it's not.
In fact, it's not. It's
You're looking at it now.
God knows what's gonna happen. Let's see.
We don't know.
The American
Yes.
elections. The American elections is the turnaround point.
It is. Is it
It's gonna affect us
It's gonna
directly.
resolve COVID. No, it's not.
No, but it's gonna affect us
It
in
will,
Canada.
it will.
It's gonna affect our economy.
The elections.
The American elections.
I feel it
gonna
will
affect a
affect
lot.
the whole world. You know what I mean?
But like
it's-
us
it's-
especially because
Oh, yeah,
we
well-
are adjacent to America and everything we use is American, right?
Have
See?
a lot of stuff.
They,
A lot of
like
stuff,
Canada has a big lack of
Yeah.
Resources.
manufacturers and,
Yeah.
and
We
stuff
don't have
like
as many resources as other countries.
And I
That's
feel
they don't
I feel like-
export. They just take everything from
A lot.
America. So
A
if
big-
if
a big
if the
example-
customs if the customs were made higher by the new American government or whatever,
Mhm.
it
a big
is.
example is
it gonna
the
be-
medical resources that we lost because we closed down we
Borders?
couldn't
The
get
country?
borders. Yeah, we closed down the borders with the United States, and they closed down the borders with us as well for some time.
But like the exchange is still happening. The imports are still happening. It's just for the people.
Now we're favoring like some local companies, which is great. But
I think
shouldn't we have been like,
Exactly. It's a
favoring them in
time.
the beginning?
Exactly. It's a time for every country to start to think of investing.
They gotta be independent.
Exactly. Of investing in
as much as
producing
they can?
producing stuff,
Yeah.
right? Because I know a lot of countries in our area that have billions of dollars.
And
Just
like,
resting there.
Canadians are great. You know what I mean? Like they're always like withstand with
no,
the local companies.
Let me be honestly. Let's have an honest talk here, right?
It's kind of
Do you know a single car that's made in Canada?
no.
Do you know a single car that's made in the US? Yes, I know a lot of cars, a lot of
Yeah.
company. Why don't
GM
we
Motors.
Why don't we have?
You know, like it has to be the mindset of the person who's controlling, taking care of these things. Like if you're imagine you're doing an assignment, it will take 2 hours, but you have like hundreds of dollars and you just gotta spend like $10 and you give $10, you get the assignment. Which one would you prefer? $10. So that's what I think government is doing.
Exactly.
Because they have
What prevents us? I have a question. What prevents us from having our own police cars?
Mhm.
What prevents Canada from producing its own police cars instead of getting Fords?
Exactly.
Hundreds of thousands of Fords every year from the United
It's
States.
easier for them, you know.
Actually, they're one of the best ones, so we can't complain.
But we can't
What
complain, but
prevents-
we can
I
get
mean,
better.
we
prevent-
don't want to become the next France. You know, have you seen France's police cars?
No.
Okay, now we're getting to that point of like, dude,
There's nothing
No.
that prevents us. By the way,
Yeah.
we can get people that left Ford company previously and worked there previously.
Oh,
Not even
Definitely.
that.
We can
Carleton,
invest.
Toronto, University of Toronto has so many good people,
So many engineers.
students. Like,
You just need an investor. You
Yeah.
just need the company. You just need a country's mindset that says. Let me give an example here. Turkey
Mhm.
is in a stage where it's developing very quick, right, and very fast. And it's 10 years ago it was a country. Now it's a total different country, right?
oh, definitely.
Because of one party that ruled
the
country and said, for every person who wants to produce something Turkish, anything Turkish, we will provide them with grants from the government, and these grants can go up to
That is-
$20 million.
That is smart.
$20 million by the government, and they're just grants. They're just for you to use it in your. If you are producing something, anything Turkish, why don't we have this mindset in Canada? The only thing that I see the name Canadian on it is the second cup.
and the
A second cup that says
maple
proudly
syrup.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's good that you're proudly Canadian, but this doesn't make Canada a great country, right?
Like
No.
last week, I saw a post from one of the Carleton pages on Instagram. One of the students produced a design of a car, which is economically amazing. Like it was it was a design, but it was it won the prize or the award of being one of the best designs for economy, and like for any family, like a car, right? That's one example. There's so many.
Yeah.
If government actually invests and think of long term, it's gonna work. If they're gonna think like short term, because like, oh, maybe next year I'm not gonna be the president, whatever, they will invest, they will benefit themselves before the country.
Exactly.
But if you think of country first, 100% Canada will change a lot. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, like even our phones, right? There is the Japanese phones and the Indian phones and the
Chinese
Chinese
phones,
phones and
American
stuff like, and the
phones.
American. And why don't we have something Canadian?
Yes.
Why don't we see Canada is inventing something, is doing something, right? Electric cars. Canada is the biggest supporter for Tesla. Why not Canada has another Tesla with a Canadian name?
You know, Croatia.
We're
Croatia
getting
make they make a supercar, like an electric supercar.
Yeah, but like you don't see the government
That's a
investing
random
that
one.
much in
They do actually.
Yeah?
It's actually one of the
which
best-
place?
Croatia.
Okay.
It's actually one of the good cars. You know, it's like a really fast, quick, amazing car. It's like one of those, you know, that can compete with Lambos.
Yeah, but I mean, what we just said, that does not mean Canada is not like. I mean, when it comes
No,
to,
we
for example, when it comes to
Hey,
regulations,
we still make great maple
exactly.
syrup. So
Yeah, when it comes
yeah.
to regulations, laws, education, universities, stuff like that, and the way the country is wired, and the way the country could stood up against COVID is a sign of it. Of a good country, right?
Yeah.
When you compare it to other places around
Oh,
the world.
definitely.
But
Like
when
we
it
have
comes
the potential.
exactly, but when it comes to producing instead of getting
think-
from foreign
I
companies,
think we have the ability, but we should take the step. That's
We have the potential. We
Yeah.
need a plan. Like, who are we? There's so many things. There's government, there's officials. We don't know what's happening. But like from our point of perspective, we have the potential. We just don't work on it. That's
Yeah.
I'm not. Who am I to say? I'm just
definitely yeah.
like an immigrant. I don't know anything about it. But from my perspective, I think that's how it should be working. You know.
I mean, I don't like to get into this so much because,
Yeah.
like, as you said, who are we to talk about it? First of all, you know,
So,
like, okay,
let's
we say our opinion, but
Mhm.
we can't resolve it in a 1 hour podcast. You know what I mean? Like,
Of course.
we're not really the
So back to the
experts.
club.
So that's where we shift off.
yeah.
So yeah, well, we kind of are moving towards at the end of our podcast.
Mhm.
I really want to thank you for being here.
Of course. Thank you
Okay.
so much for having me.
It was really great having you.
Thank you.
um,
Thank you.
Thank you, Mo, for being
Thank you.
here. You make you know, you make your
Yeah,
way
excuse
from
me,
all the way.
to go out of topic, and then it's just the way, like I like
Okay.
to
It just went that way.
orient.
Yeah.
No, that's actually like you make great discussions. That's what I like about
you.
having you in the podcast.
Thank you.
You help out a lot, and thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming all the
Thank
way
you so
from
much.
Barhaven to here.
Yeah, thanks you. It's
That's a
fine.
long way. So, if you haven't watched our previous episodes, what are you doing? Go watch them. Actually, we stopped for 2 weeks, so you probably guys have the time. So go watch them. They're really great. Hopefully, you guys have been doing well as well. Stay well, stay safe in these times. I will leave my social medias, my guest's social media, in the description. Go follow him. You know, go if you have any questions about clubs or joining clubs. He's probably a great person to be asked these questions. Again, our social media as well are in the description. Go follow them. We are gonna be posting like little clips from this episode if you are big fans of like little clips. Until our next episode, you guys have a good one.